Derek, I think you're ready to talk about a new child.
Yo, I want to, but I think I need to give this transition to Jacob real quick because
Wait,
I
what?
just listened to some heavy breathing, bro. He was ready and
Wait,
prepared.
I don't have one prepared. Oh no.
I got you, bro. Renforshort has put out her debut album, Dear Amelia.
Don't come back. I don't wanna live like that. I just wanna keep you in the past. Took a while for the smoke to clear. Now I'm happy without you.
Okay, Jacob, I'm giving you the floor. Go.
I get the floor.
You get the floor.
This is a lot of pressure.
Because this is how
Okay.
I feel with Garden, bro. I got my baby. I get
In
to
the
sit back and
same
listen to you talk about
vein
it.
as Jake with the Mothica album, this album lyrically is a masterpiece.
Yes.
And especially when I'm intoxicated, I connect with the lyrics.
You know, I felt that a lot actually because you think a lot. You tend to
Yep.
think more and you feel different things. There are some albums that like they're good on their own, but they were meant to be like experienced on some sort of substance, which feels bad. This is not an endorsement of substance abuse. I'm putting that out there for legal reasons. I got the disclaimer. But you feel some
Gonna
sort
get
of
sued.
yeah, you feel some sort of way when you're intoxicated, or especially on alcohol. You tend to be more emotional, especially if you're already thinking about things, and it
Yep.
helps you perceive different, whether it be art, or music. Well, let's say that music isn't art, but you know what I mean, like paintings versus audible art, like this is. And having heard it in both ways, and even just casually, there is so much to love here, and I'm excited that you feel the same way. I still think that I Miss Myself is the opener of the year, and I don't think that anything is going to beat it. I think it might be like a top 5 opener for me ever. Maybe not in turn because I will. It's actually really funny. I Miss Myself is the only song on this album, despite being, I think, the objective best, that I haven't playlisted anywhere. But I think in the context of the album, it's so undeniable, and like I want to that bit where it builds. All the tears I cried for you made me forget a part of who I used to be. I used to love, I used to care for me so much. So every year it escalates and I become what I hate. I know I should apologize, but there's too many stupid lies. And now I'm trying to feel the ground so I don't have to let me down. I lost myself to be like you. And now I fucking miss me too. Which, hits hard enough
Yeah.
as it is, let alone into Made for You, which is all about how somebody else has impacted your self-perception and you altered yourself so much for that person that you don't know who you are anymore, which means that you abandon any sense of self-worth and just become whatever the person who you want to be with wants to hear, and you create like a perfect version of yourself for that person, which then leads into Mosh Pit, which is the kind of next chapter in that, where because you faked who you are for that person, they got comfortable with you, and then you start to come into your own. You're not the same person you were when you first met them because you faked yourself, and now you find out who you are for yourself, and they find that out too, and the relationship becomes tumultuous, and you just want to get out, which is then followed by "We'll Make This Okay," which is kind of that toxic acceptance of I need to get out, but oh shit, what is it? We fight, we love, we kiss, we fuck. Where it's that toxic in and out of I know you're not good for me, but I can't seem to get away from you. We'll
You
make this
like the
okay, but we
attention.
won't.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, every
It's
bit,
too
like the
close to
fact
home.
that yeah, and the fact that those four all, I was so skeptical of whatever it's called. Well, I guess the thing in between that is Hate the Way You Love Me, which fits perfectly in that sequence, but that 4 out of the first 5 songs were singles. I wasn't happy with it at all until I heard it and made that connection that all of them connect to each other, and it felt like my third eye had opened, like I was like, oh shit, now I get it. I understand it now. I think that my favorite track on here is still Mosh Pit,
Mhm.
and I think it's followed closely by I Thought You Were Cool and Don't Come Back, which are
Don't Come
tied.
Back is my favorite.
Don't Come
Yeah.
Back is my favorite.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're all on the relative same page then there.
I'm gonna ruin your parade a little bit by saying that Don't Come Back is my favorite, and I think the album significantly drops off from that point onwards.
Oh no, Dear Amelia's there, right there. Or not
Yeah,
Dear Amelia, just
just
Amelia.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say that like after Don't Come Back, I didn't add a single song to my playlist.
Amelia's right there, dude.
Not
Oh
the
man.
second half of this album just wasn't working for me, and it's unfortunate, and I'm upset at myself for it because I had a fun time with the front half, but the back half of the album just isn't doing anything for me, and it really makes it hard for me to like enjoy this album as much as I want to.
It's because outside of Julian King of Manhattan, it's very slow and depressing. Like the first half of the album masks it well in
You
the
know,
energy, but like
I think Julian King of Manhattan is my least favorite song.
it was for me too. I think honestly at this point for me it's Let You Go or Let You Down, and it's just because the sometimes Jake Bugg's accent kind of bothers me a little bit. He reminds me of the guy from Passenger. You know that song Let Her Go? You only need the light when it's burning low, only feel the sun when it starts to snow. It's from like 2013.
No, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I know that melody.
He reminds me a
That was
lot of the
all over
singer
U.S.
from it.
radio back then.
Yeah. I think Not My Friend just it's everything else is kind of disguised almost in metaphors or continuation of the story, and I think Not My Friend hits it very much on the nose. Um all I really want to know, or all I really know is I don't want to know what it is that I'm thinking, so cover up my eyes and tell me that it's fine and hold me till the morning. Maybe I'm not my friend, I'm just someone stuck in a body. That like feeling that kind of dissociation with yourself and ignoring it, um just because it's easier to try and convince yourself that nothing's wrong rather than facing what it is that you're dealing with. um and then real I want to give my shout out to Amelia because I think
Yes.
that this, hold on, I want to pull up exactly in the song where it is, because as far as I understand it, this album ultimately, outside of talking about mental health and relationships, is about losing a friend to suicide and wanting to be better for them and feeling like you haven't lived up to your own expectations of yourself, let alone, kind of that you'd promise yourself you'd be better for their sake to live on in their name and their
Mm,
legacy, and you haven't really lived up to that. Um, let's see,
huh, I never
Amelia,
thought of it
it's
that way.
yeah. Well, I'm after I finish mine, I'm curious to see how you think of it. But it's Amelia. It's not been long since you've been gone, and I can't help but wonder what went wrong. Did you skip your medication because you thought it was too strong? Oh, Amelia, you always wished you had a song. And then you reach out to Amelia, kind of like a directly, kind of like on your knees. You're at like a shrine or something like that. I haven't been good, and I haven't been feeling too good lately. Like you're looking down over me, type of thing. You've seen where I'm at. No one understood. I felt like I was driving everyone crazy because my brain didn't work like it should have. I didn't want to check into rehab, but it's all good. And the parallel between "Oh Amelia, you always wished you had a song," and then "Oh Amelia, I always wish you had a better song," like still feeling like you're not good enough and nothing you're doing is living up to yourself or to her. And I love the way that the effects on her vocals go. It kind of feels like it's
Mm,
ascendant, like it's going up to heaven
yeah.
type of thing. And then at the end, where it kind of muddles them, it almost creates like this ripple effect in the vocals. And it makes me feel like it's then from the perception of Amelia, who's hearing it on the other side of the barrier type of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's
No,
like the
I didn't
rest of
even.
the
I didn't
song.
even. I haven't even like gone into the lyrics of this song, but reading it now, it's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Like just that the rest, everything up besides that last bit of I haven't been good with the effect switches is renforshort, or this person in the album talking up to Amelia, and then the last bit where the effect changes, it's like you're hearing it on the other side of things, and it's Amelia hearing it through that barrier, through that veil. And I envisioned that the first time I heard it, and it just blew me away. And the fact that this album is bookended by two such strong, an opener and a closer, and
Yeah.
everything in the middle is so good. Um, I love this. This is my favorite album of the month. Um, and I'm curious to see what you thought of Amelia. Like, well, obviously the album in general, but like of Amelia specifically as a song, because you caught something else in me. It sounds like.
I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really dive into the lyrics of Amelia. I just liked how it sounded. Honestly, I thought it was very, like you said, like transcendent almost.
Mm.
This is kind of like in the same vein as like "Fall for You" or What is it? "Fall for Me" by Sleep Token.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the same effect on the vocals. Done better. Not done much better.
And
Yeah, I don't have too
sonically,
much to add. I feel like I've already kind of said my points. It's just like good album, but falls off towards the end.
yeah, sonically, very good. I think the lyricism is really what sells this album,
Yes,
and once you
it's the
dive into it,
lyricism.
it's just incredible. I had kind of muddled expectations because I didn't love "We'll Make This Okay" as a single, and
I
I was
had
kind of upset
no
hearing "I Miss Myself"
expectations.
as a single, and it's just so good. Yeah,
That's interesting though, cause I was like listening to like I don't know why I didn't really dive into the lyrics of Amelia, but it's like totally different from the beginning of the album.
yeah, yeah. I think it's at least my understanding was everything up to about "I Thought You Were Cooler, Don't Come Back" is about like at least my headcanon for it. I haven't looked up anything. Is that like Amelia is dead before the opener goes in, and it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna better myself. I'm gonna get into this relationship. It falls apart, and then you start to slowly devolve, and you're losing that self worth up until "Let You Down," which is about feeling like you've let Amelia down. And then "Better Off" is kind of like that existential, like, you know what, fuck it. Like, is anything worth it? Like, would we be better off if everybody was dead or if humanity just like moved to Mars and started over type of thing? Um, and then "Not My Friend" is that kind of realization of I'm not doing well for myself, and Amelia is that like ultimate penance, I guess, talking up to Amelia like, hey, you've seen me, I know I'm not doing good, I'm not living up to how I wish I had for you, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Which, you in saying that Julian King of Manhattan is your least favorite, I
I
kind of
don't get
agree in
it.
the sense that it feels out of place. Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't
Yeah, I
get
don't.
it.
It doesn't make sense.
And part of it, I think, with how much everything else fits into this narrative, I feel like I'm just missing something rather than
Yeah.
like objectively. And I'll look into it. And I mean, maybe we'll be discussing it again at the end of the year, and by then I can figure it out. Maybe potentially wink, wink.
Blow my mind.
Yeah, but I love this. It's just the Off Saint Dominique EP had some really good storytelling, but this blows it off and out of the water, and I think
I
this is an
think
incredible
I
debut
think
album.
this is my go-to drunk album.
You know what? We'll take it. I'll take it. This has been my go-to album for this entire month.
Before it was the Broadside album, but now I
Oh,
think from
well,
last
hell
year,
yeah.
for not last year, 2020.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they both got lyricism talking about like self-worth and relationships and your self-perception of it, which is oftentimes, you get it past a certain point and drinking doesn't become fun anymore. It just becomes kind of sad. Yeah, no, I see it. But yeah, anyway, all that to say, Jake, Mothica was Jake's big recommend of the month. This is my big recommend of the month. I think that this is an incredible album that is spectacularly done, and it's definitely worth a listen, if not for anything else besides the lyricism and the storytelling.